Yeah, women can feedback
Yeah,
whether
is
you
it true?
agree or not. Mm,
Or men also can feedback.
mm.
Do you think it is true? Have you seen this happening to the woman? Okay, a man can also reply. Have you seen this happening to the woman? Woman, maybe for you, you got no comparison. Maybe you feel this is normal, but let me say, ask first. Does your emotion change frequently, like wave? Okay. First thing, do you feel your emotion change like wave? Of course, if I were to ask you, is this a big wave, small wave? I think it will be difficult for you to answer because big wave, small wave means comparison. You must have other wave to compare. Then only you know whether it's a big wave, small wave. Okay, but nevertheless, the first question: is it true? Uh, uh, my point basically is this is also important for women, for you to uh, express it so that you begin to recognize recognize it. Maybe in this case, begin to also to understand that actually men not so much. Okay. Okay. So women can answer, men also can answer from observing women.
Okay, Yvonne said yes, I do feel my emotions are like waves. Sometimes I have ups and down. Oh, Zixin said not really. Can you explain more in detail, Zixin? Okay, then Li Ming said, I noticed I can have very low esteem moment from nowhere. Yeah, that's
So
the downtime.
basically for Yvonne and Li Ming, in other words, your feeling can drop without quite knowing any reason, right? Without quite knowing what stimulates the drop. Is that what you're saying? I mean, men also have emotion. They will also go up and down. But I think I think for men one always have simulation one. There must be a reason. There's a reason for creating for causing the down. But woman one, is it natural? It's like it's a natural down. You cannot quite associate to something definite that is causing the down. Is that right? Okay, very interesting for Simon. Simon one. For example, my mom suddenly see my dad in situation A, then come to me grumble, then she go do her stuff and find relative and will be okay. Then suddenly come to me again. Okay. Okay. So Simon, you begin to see that your mom somehow has this emotional change. Okay. CK, I feel it is quite true and that sometimes woman doesn't notice it. Okay. So you observe it lah. CK. Who do you observe it in? Family, girlfriend, or what? Li Ming say have reason lah when I am overthinking. But where does this overthinking come from? Man, I think when we overthink, our emotion don't go down. We just go into cave. Not that emotion go down. I think it's different. I think men also overthink. Men constantly overthink. That's why they go into the cave, think, and then after that they switch off and go into the box of watching TV or switch off. But I think in this case, does the man? It's not the emotion. I think it's not emotional. It's just separation. It's just isolation. Of course, the woman can see the man going into isolation and think that the man is depressed. But no, the man don't. I don't think the man feel depressed. The man is just suddenly, switch off. You said, will try to calm myself whenever I'm going to get angry or upset. Okay, Yvonne, usually there is a trigger for the down, but just that when down time, I am particularly sensitive to trigger. Okay. Okay, ha ha ha, girlfriend. Li Ming, but I noticed recently during menstruation period, I will overthink more often than usual. So, okay, Li Ming, I'm curious to ask. Li Ming, in your case, is it the overthinking causing the emotion down, or is it the emotion down causing the overthinking?
I think overthinking, and then it make me feel conscious about myself. Then my self-esteem drop, so I become down lor.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you think it's overthinking that's causing the emotion down lah? Not your emotion down cause your overthinking lah.
No, I
Okay.
think
Okay.
it's overthinking part. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Go on. Man, I'm curious in this case. Man, do you overthink and do overthinking cause your emotion to go down, man? I think worthwhile to compare now so that you all can see how a man naturally, overthink about work if fail down. Now, very interesting. Overthink about work if fail, then only down. The down caused by failure, not by thinking, right, Simon? Because of competency, because of our need to be seen as competent. So when we fail, right? Yeah, we down. Not overthinking cost down. I need to be a little bit more specific here. Woman, I think it's your overthinking go down. For Li Ming? Okay, Matthew, sometimes, especially when I'm dealing with guilty and my failure. Okay. Now, you are clear that you have there is a clear reason for going down, right, Matthew? You see, your reason for feeling down is guilt and failure, which is ties into men always need the sense of identity is from the competence. So obviously guilt and failure means incompetent. That's why down. Not me, I guess. If cannot solve, then no point overthink. If I can solve, then also no point overthink. Okay. So in other words, CK, your one, you don't often have this kind of down. Is it what you're saying? Simon say yes. Yeah. So it's a failure that caused a down. Now, that's why I want to be clear. Woman, your one, is the overthinking caused down, but it's not the failure, it's not something external that happened that caused you to be down. Is that right? Not should I say it's not something you do. Maybe it's not when you fail to achieve something. What is your reason for down? Yes, not due to overthink. Yes, not due to overthink. Okay, that means you don't go down due to overthink for CK. Yvonne, yes and no. What do you mean by yes and no? Yes and no what? Yes and no as in? That means yes If you fail, you can also go down. But also, no need to fail, also go down. Is that, Yvonne, what you're saying? That means, Yvonne, your emotion can go down due to failure to achieve, but also go down for other reasons. Sometimes because of other people. Overthinking, sometimes because failure to reach my goal. Okay. So you have both. In other words, you overthink, go down, but not fail, go down. Now, or sometimes also fail, go down lah, huh? Okay. So, which means that in this case, yes, both. Okay. Now, by so far lah, by observing lah, would I be right to say that for women, there are more ways to trigger a woman's emotions go down? Whereas men, it may be because failure, guilt, or failure, or nothing at all. Now, I believe that the other question I'm now also trying to ask also is this: woman, how frequent do you see your wave emotion? Men, like in other words, how frequent do you see this down? Once a month, twice a month? But I want to ask the same question also for the men. For men, if you do go down, how often do you see yourself going down? Once a month, twice a month, once every 3 months, once every 6 months? Come, ladies and gentlemen. What are your... Hello. What are your answers? How frequent does your down occurs? How frequent? Once a month, twice a month? CK, once in a blue moon, probably 1 to 3 times a year. Okay. So if it is maximum 3 times a year, that means once every 4 months. CK, 4 to 6 months. Okay. Yvonne, once a month. Li Ming, I got once a month. But it gets better because I'm taking action to handle it. Okay. So still about once a month. Others, ladies and gentlemen? Simon, depend. Try not to do badly in all the stuff. If I do bad, I will check where go wrong, and my main objective then is okay. This year in the lockdown, don't know what to do. So when was the... Okay. So still, I want to know how far apart is your down, Simon? Cician, don't really remember. So looks like, Cician, your puberty haven't come yet. One thing, once in 3 months. Okay, others, ladies and gentlemen, come on. Everybody, all the ladies and gentlemen should be able to answer. Around once a month, not fixed, depend on circumstances. Okay, Wendy, you say depends. What's the shortest that you have seen? What is the most frequent you have seen? And how far apart can it go? Okay. Yeah, Simon also 1 to 3 times a year. So looks like the men, so far the 2 men answer is 4 months once. 4 to 6 months once. Okay. Ladies, come on. How frequent? Shortest frequency, longest frequency. Come, give me an idea, or give us some idea. Okay, last call. Don't want to waste too much time. Any more input? Okay. So no more input. Okay. So looks quite clear to me. In this case, looks quite clear to me that if you see most of the ladies here, once a month is quite common. Okay. And for the men, yeah, I also would agree. For me, probably once every 4 to 6 months. So I think can also see quite clearly the cause of the emotion down, as well as the frequency of the emotion. So maybe in this case, it is quite a good way to describe. Not that men don't have waves, but the waves are very because when it's spaced apart, the wave is not volatile. It's considered calm because it's stretched out. So the wave is very soft. So when the duration between the down is get closer together, then the wave become quite strong, creating a lot of ups and downs. Okay, I think in this case, it is a good way to illustrate that generally women's emotions are stronger wave, are more volatile wave. Okay, I think in this case. So anybody got any comment or disagreement with what I'm saying? Otherwise, I pass the time back to Wan Ting. Okay, Wan Ting, back to you.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So like as just now, the conclusion we can see is that women can have the downtime not necessarily once a month, but maybe in a month it can be more than just one time. So it depends on the circumstances. And for men, they are quite less like in terms of the downtime. It can be one time in a year or maybe maximum 3 times. So for women, when she is at her downtime, she might experience negative feelings suddenly, like just feel being unsupported, misunderstood. But soon after reaching the bottom of the curve of the wave, she will automatically feel better and rises again, and she's willing to give for her relationship again. So that's what we call emotional house cleaning. Yeah, and later we will see more lah, what is emotional house cleaning. And yeah, for the woman's ability is actually receive and give love in her relationship. So it depends on how she feels about herself. When she feels good, then she's willing to give more love. But when she's at her downtime, then she tends to feel insecure and more uh, backward. And that's when she needs her man's support for this case. And in order to make her feel better about herself, and the guy should always remind his woman how much she means to him. And but sometimes it will create confusion to the man, because one minute he think and he sees his woman is very confident, happy, but the next minute, it can be very short time, she just suddenly feel insecure and all the negative feelings arise. Okay, but one thing for the men should always understand is that it is irrational to expect a woman to always stay loving or caring and positive all the time, because women also have the, especially women their emotional is quite strong, so it can be very happy in 1 minute and next minute can be suddenly feel sad and disappointed or angry to the man. So one key point is that we must understand women rise and fall in their ability to love themselves and others. So when they love themselves more, then they are willing or can give more love and care to the the man or the people surround her. Yeah. So before I go to the next slide, sir, you got any add on or anyone got any question?
Yeah, I got a comment. I got a comment. More of a personal experience. Honestly, to tell you, when I was when I was younger, especially during my early marriage time, to honestly tell you, I had difficulty sometimes understanding and I do the wrong thing. Exactly what John Gray described here. Very often I would see the woman emotion drop, and very often my reaction as a man is solve the problem because that's how our mind work Everything is a problem to be solved. So in this case, somehow if it involves the person I love, that's how I feel that it's the right thing for me to do solve the woman's problem. Now sometimes able to, so you talk, you reason with the woman, and initially the woman would listen, and then it helps a little bit. It sort of helps a little bit, but or at least I think it helps a little bit. Maybe the woman in this case pressure to feel that it is helped. Okay. Now that after I've read this chapter and I've gone through this chapter, sometimes I wonder if it actually helped. But during that time, I thought it helped. And maybe it's a woman pressure to respond as though it helped. Now that I look back, now this is my evaluation. During the time, I didn't know. So what happened is, then the next day or next week, very short time, within the short time, the emotion go down again. Boom. Now, initially, I tried to be patient because I thought the problem solved already, Then the emotion, maybe it wasn't solved very properly. So you try again. And then sometimes I would refer, like last time I say, da 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 da. Then the next thing I know, again, 1 week, 2 weeks later, or 1 month later, boom, again. After a while, I remember I used to think, I thought solved already. Why bring back the problem again? I felt as though women repeatedly bring back the problem. That's why now that I read the book, and then I read this chapter, okay, this emotion thing, yes, it is partially related to a reason. But no, it is emotional and cannot fully be explained by a reason. Now that I look back, okay, I begin to realize that what I did, right, by trying to solve the woman, the emotional down with logic, actually didn't work. I remember it only got worse. If I look back, I remember it got worse. Eventually, I get frustrated because I thought the problem is solved, and I lose my patience, and that created a vicious cycle. Okay, eventually, because I also lose my patience, right? I try to shorten the solution time, and the woman feel it that I'm getting frustrated and I'm no longer patient. Trying to listen. Okay, so the conflict escalate. So honestly, this is a first-hand sharing of but really a real personal experience, a first-hand personal experience of what this chapter described. And I want to say this so that men, really want you to understand, men, we have to try not to use logic to solve this wave problem. Okay, I really want to encourage you to because our wave is only what 1 to 3 times a year. Now, if we look at the woman, on average, they are once a month. On average, about once a month. So you're looking at 12 times a year, maybe more. Okay, some may be less, but definitely more than us. So it is possible if we use our wave, our small wave, as a comparison, we can lose our patience. Okay? Because why? Sometimes it looks as though seems as though it is the same problem. Okay? But don't get me wrong, if you just now read all the reply that women have, right? They are very similar. Ours is failure and guilt cause the emotion. Theirs is just thinking. It wasn't clearly a failure. Of course, there are some failure also cause, but there are this that is not failure that cause. So for us, we do not understand that because they haven't failed. So, man, we have to learn to try to figure out that now, which is contrary to our nature. Our nature is we try to reason it, use logic and apply it. Now it is we have to learn to. The logic is often there's no logic, so we have to learn to be patient. Or rather, should I say, the logic is it doesn't fit man's logic. It fits woman's logic, but it doesn't fit man's logic. So we must learn to be patient, to apply the woman's logic and not the man's logic, so that otherwise we will lose our patience to the woman's wave. Okay, man. Okay, pass back to you. Okay, Simon have something written here. I say what? Same with my ex. Previously was in LDR. Same situation. Always bring up same same stuff or problem. Try to reassure by calling and messaging. It was okay for a while, then come back. Okay, good. Good. So it's not me who's only experiencing it. So Simon, you are also beginning to experience it. Good. Helpful for you now. You have something to look back from experience to understand now. For me, it's kind of late. Not that it's not never too late, but it's late nevertheless. For you all 20 over years old, perfect timing. So for you all, to be honest, for you all who are younger, now that you learn all this, you have less excuse for relationship, especially marriage relationship, to break down, because now you have more knowledge and understanding to deal with some of these differences, natural differences between men and women. Okay, any comment before I pass the time back to Wan Ting?
Can I, Matthew here, can I do some?
Sure.
This one, the emotional one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I remember last week, right? If you guys remember, I said that I joined the media team of my church together. Yeah. Okay. So I can see one of these examples is going on during that time. When I reflect back, during that time when we are downloading the software, because it takes some time for the software to download one. And so there was a girl, and there was a girl while we are waiting. You know lah, man, when we are waiting, so we are just chill lah. We are just chill. We don't think too much about it. Basically we said, oh, let it run, oh, let it run, oh, no problem one what. But that girl, I can see that from the start, right? From the start, before the software being downloaded, being run, she was okay, you know. She was okay. But until the software start downloading, it takes quite some time. And then she goes like, "Ayo, why so long one? Ayo, why like this one? Why the laptop's like that one? So I can also reflect back, so I can also see it at first by my male nature. I would think that, ayo, why so annoying one? So small things only that I need to react like that, man. But and then I recall it again, what the book has actually said. The book has actually stated that the woman, the emotional, very fluctuating one, and women are more the women's are more emotional, reacting and basis one. So okay, I based on that reaction, I can also recall it. I can also understand, oh, why was she behaving that way, and why was she talking like that. And so I just go in and say, yellow, why like this one? So slow, so slow. Then she get excited, you know. She get really excited. Say, yeah. Then we start talking about this and like that. Yeah, so I can definitely see it. Is that time I didn't go in. It's like, you install this lah, you close it down lah, close it that lah. I close down the software lah, close down the window lah. It will help it better. But I just merely say that yellow, why like this? Oh, and then the conversation start going already. Yeah. So I can slightly reflect back like again what was happening over here again. Yeah, that was my sharing from my side. Yep.
Okay, good. Any others? Anybody else? Anybody else got any experience or any comment? Okay, lah.
Yvonne got something, right? Yvonne on Matthews.
I missed out. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. On Matthew's experience, is it just personality problem? Sure, women react outwardly, but in such example, does that mean the woman is being emotional? I think in general, yes. It is both. I think Yvonne is both. You will see. I think you will see more women react like this, high and low. Not that men don't. The men who do are only the high I or the sanguine high I, which is only about. You won't find many who will respond the way the Matthew talked about. You won't find many men who will do like that. Yes, they do, but very few. Generally, I would have to agree, not all women, but more women will respond the way Matthew described just now. Maybe good for now that you all have understood, maybe just to observe, especially when you go to work and then you are in the office working environment, observe. Very common is you will see in an office environment also, you don't see men reacting like that. You cannot say that men are more, women are more sanguine. No, the percentage of sanguine is still very low. But generally, you will have women reacting like that more. It's an expression of emotion. So I think yes and yeah, I would say yes and no in this case. Okay. Any other comment? Thanks, Yvonne. Okay. One thing, back to you.
Okay. Let's continue from here. I will talk on how men react to the wave. So, for generally, men often feel is their responsibility for their woman's mood. So when she feels good, the guy will take credit, and when she feels bad, he will confused and frustrated, and he doesn't know what to do to make her feel better. And some, to make things worse, he try to fix it. And he's telling her not to be upset, and she feels misunderstood and even more upset. So what the woman really wants is just the unconditional love and support from her man. She doesn't need a solution. So what a woman need is just someone to listen to her and show her empathy. Yeah. So for guys, this is the point that you should take note. And
But let me just comment. This is
yeah,
definitely me. I don't know about Simon and CK lah, or Matthew lah, but this is definitely me. That's why when I read this part here, how a man react to the wave, all the description here fits me or fitted me until I frustrated. Of course, later after long term, then I stopped trying anymore. But then, of course, when I stopped trying, also I distance myself. But here should not. You should stop trying to fix it, but you should be there to support without trying to fix it. Very often, what I did, and I presume many masculine men would do, and when they fail to fix it, they withdraw. Because that's what a man do. When a man cannot solve the problem, what do? They enter their cave. They withdraw and go into their cave. You see, that's where the problem arises. Okay. Any comment here? Okay. Otherwise, one thing. Back to you.
yeah. So for this is actually a good sign indeed for the woman's need, because when the man trying to support, and this can help the woman to hit the bottom faster. So after hit the bottom, so like I just now said, woman will feel better, and yeah, can just be let go and be happy again. So for here, for woman, she will appreciate her man's support, and eventually her future upcoming downtime won't be so extreme, and yeah, won't be like um too too many gaps between the good and the bad side lah. Yeah, so it won't surprise the man, or herself won't feel so much different, the gap. Yeah, because when the man is there, then it will change everything. So for here is, for men, don't try to fix it, just listen. Yeah, this is things that don't forget. And
Okay.
for yeah,
Let me just comment about the don't try to fix it. Go back one slide.
okay.
No, not this one. This one.
Mm.
Man, not easy. Let me just say this first. Not easy. Because this is what our nature is. Because our sense of identity is related to this. Because if we can fix it, we feel good. Right? And so it doesn't seem right to not try to fix it. Does that make sense? So, which is why I have to say it is not easy, but yet it is something we have to try to learn to do. Okay. Maybe one thing that can help for men is simply this: your woman is not your project. Maybe try to do this. Your woman is your partner, not your project. You see, when we want to fix it, we fix a project. We fix a problem. We fix something that is broken, that is not good. Now, we have to remember, your partner is not a problem. Your partner is not a project. your partner is not something for you to fix. Your partner is your partner, right? And in this case, it's not for you to fix, it's for you to support. I think one of the things I have to learn basically is this. Because once you have the mentality of my partner is someone I need to fix, realize this, then I become bigger than my partner. Then my partner no longer is an equal partner because I need to fix. If I need to fix the woman who is my partner, then he become smaller than me, can say. Right? He become less than me. I think that's not a good. It's not a good mindset to have of a partner. Yes, you are supposed to help, right? It's different from you have a mentality to fix. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. Any comment or question? If not, then I'll pass back to. Okay. Oh, got. Okay. Simon say what? I deal with swimmers of younger age. One day during training, warm up, stretching, this 9-year-old girl suddenly become aggressive when this 9-year-old boy was fooling around. I know the boy was just joking, playing around. So I just asked the girl to sit down while the others continue in the pool. I asked the girl to tell me what happened. She told me and I tried to give suggestion, but felt like didn't help. So I asked her anything else, asked her to walk around the pool with me. Okay. When she was okay, she went in to swim. I asked her to solve the problem by transferring her negative energy to swim. Okay. Okay. In other words, she solved her own problem. I think you're getting the point there, Simon. Very often it's like this. You can give suggestion that may help the woman solve her own problem, just like what you're doing here with the swimmers. In this case, with the girl. I think it's a skill we all need to learn. Okay, especially men. We all need to learn. Okay, don't try to solve everything. We are not a God who can solve everything. One of the hardest lesson for me anyway to learn. Okay, any other comment? Anybody else got any other story to tell, experience or comment? Okay, one thing, back to you.
Okay, I will continue with this slide. So for men, you should always be patient and understanding towards the woman when she became more upset. That's because sometimes when a man think that he is already succeeding in supporting his woman, but that will even sometimes the woman will become more upset. So what a man needs is these two criteria: patient and understanding. Okay. So for next is we talk about recurring conversation and argument. So for a woman, when she's come out from her cave, her wave, sorry. So she becomes her usual loving self again. So for this temporarily, man may think or misunderstood is that he thinks the woman already completely healed or resolved the problem. But in fact, this is not the case. When the woman's wave crashes again, similar issues will arise and the man will becomes impatient. Yeah, in this case. So for here, what the man can do when you have upset your partner or Yeah, when she's feeling sad or she's in her well. So for men, you should apologize appropriately acknowledge and accept the woman's feeling about negative, whether negative, mostly is negative, and you should use the love language, let's say I love you, or maybe comfort the woman. And remember, don't be defensive and don't ignore the negative feelings that women already have. And yeah, you can um, refer to, I think, those who have book can refer to chapter 7, the fourth page lah. So for the men will tend to have this 7 reaction lah. Like first, the man will say, how many times do we have to go through this? Yeah. Second, the man will say, I've heard all this before. Third, I thought we have established that the agreement between the two of them. Yeah. The fourth one, the man will ask the woman, when are you going to get off it? Or maybe to quit it to, in another words, to stop it lor. Then the fifth one, I don't want to deal with this again. So the man is showing impatient. And yeah, the sixth, this is crazy. We are having the same argument over and over again. Yeah. And last, the man's reaction will be, why do you have so many problems? Yeah. So these are the reaction men will, when they cannot tahan already, then they will have this question towards the woman. So anything to add on, sir, before
Yeah,
I
yeah. Let me just add one thing for all of you, especially the guys. Girls as well, you can learn this, but guys, especially you, because this is all about how to deal with the woman's wave, how to work with the woman's wave. Now, guys, you really need to learn and understand the love language of the woman. Understand? Now, there are some love language will be easy, but if you and this is where for guys, you have to break through. If you have a barrier expressing some of the love language, you have to break through. Because there are 5 love language, if I remember correctly. One is verbal. You have to words. Okay. So you have to say I love you. You're special to me. So you have to say things to the woman. Now, for me, let me be honest. My generation, my family don't say this, so I never learned to say this. It's not easy for me to say I love you. Okay. Now, for you all, if you have a problem like me, you have to learn for your future relationship sake. Okay. Now, learn it. Second one is affection, physical affection. Okay. So learn. If the woman happens to be the type whose love language is physical affection, right? Learn to touch them, learn to hold them, hug them, or learn to hold their hand. Okay, because the physical affection is the means that show the most to them. Or third, little gifts of gift. Now, gift will be harder because sometimes by the time you discover, now you have to go and find and buy gift. Now, very common will be, to me, very common is just go and buy a flower, a rose especially, which is not too difficult. So if you know, right, if you know, and you're on the way home and it's easy access, go and quickly go and get a flower. I think you don't have to buy one bouquet of flower because that will be too expensive. Okay, one flower will do. Just one rose will do, because you have to remember the wave quite frequent for a woman. So if you every time buy a bouquet, I think you pokai. For the quality time. Quality time is you sit down and talk. Now, if that's what the woman needs, yes, you need. Now, to me, that will probably be the hardest because I have the lowest in patience. But some of you, not bad. Some of the men here who have a higher feminine trait, okay, you have more patience. You will probably have to sit down and really spend quality time sharing, talking. And the fifth is gift of service, meaning take over some of the household job. For example, if your woman is feeling bad, go and wash the dishes, go and do the house chores. Learn to do the house chores. Learn to tell, or maybe if you know before you go back from work and you know the woman is going to do in the well, tell the woman no need to cook dinner. We're going to take you out for dinner, or go and tap out something nice back so that the woman don't have to cook. For instance, prepare the meal. These are things you can do. But anyway, for those of you who don't know the 5 love language, please go online, search. It's called love language. But many of the YMAP people already know. Okay? Men especially, you should learn this because this will help here. Significantly help here on how to deal when the woman go down. And because the woman the frequency of the emotion is quite frequent. Even more so, you need to learn it because you need to do it quite frequently. So in a way, I have to say that men, we need to learn the love language far more than the woman need to learn. Okay? Men, we really need to, because for the sake of the woman, the partner. Okay? Li Ming already post up the site there. So for those of you who don't know, you just press the link and go in and download at least the 5. Okay. One thing, back to you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next, we will proceed to warning signs for men to know when the woman may be going to her well or when she needs his love the most. So these are the feelings that the women have, and after the dash is the things that she's going to say to the man. So when she feel overwhelmed, um, she will tell the man there's so much things to do, this, that, blah, blah. Yeah. So for when insecure, then she will start with something like this. I need more time, more space or more love. Yeah, something.
I need more shoes. I need more clothes.
More bags.
I got no more clothes to wear to my office.
Mm, okay, yeah. So the third one, resentful. Yeah, I do everything. Yeah, just because. Yeah, this that. When she feel worried, she will start. But what about the things that left something somewhere? Yeah, she's concerned. Yeah. So the fifth one, when she feel confused, then she will say, I don't understand why. You tell the man, I don't understand why this. So when she's exhausted, then she will tell the man, I can't do anything more. Ah, that means, yeah, it's the end. I will stop it here. So when she's hopeless, then she'll say, I don't know what to do. Yeah, this is the time, yeah, for the man to know. Maybe the woman needs some advice or some direction tips. Yeah. So for passive, then she'll say, I don't care, do what you want. Demanding, tell the guy, you should do this, you should not you should not play games, yeah, you should not watch TV, something like that. Withholding, yeah, she'll say, no, I don't want to stay with you any longer, or something. Mistrustful, she'll say, what do you mean by that? Yeah, she feel the guy didn't maybe trust her. Yeah, that's where she feel threatened. Controlling, Then she'll say, well, did you, yeah, did you maybe like hang the clothes, or yeah, did you do something that is against the rules or the house rule? Yeah. And last, disapproving, she'll say, how could you forget the anniversary days, or yeah, how could you forget the things that you should buy for me, something like that. Yeah. So these are the keywords lah for men to roughly know what the women are trying to give the warning sign. Yeah. And so for men, you should always understand the neediness that women have in her own true self, because for women may need more uh time spent, like the guy will give the attention to her. So when both are having less interaction, and yeah, you can see the cycle here. So when the first stage, both already have less interaction. So for woman, she will feel loneliness and the need for a reassurance from the man. So if the man still didn't give attention, the time, or yeah, the love to her, then she will start to feel disappointed and argue with the man, or some even have the cold war that choose not to argue. Yeah, we have the cold war. Yeah. And so for the guys, you should always be the initiator lah, to making out and restoring the intimacy with your woman. So goes with interaction more. But sometimes, yeah, when the interaction is less, so the woman, same thing, she will feel the same cycle, and end up, if the guy didn't give appropriate in the appropriate time or good timing, then yeah, it's will let the woman feel not needed lor. Mm. Okay. Anyone got any question can understand?
I think worthwhile to mention here that if you are able to help the woman in the well, the future well will be easier to tackle.
Mm.
So but if the well was not properly handled previously, then the future well will be deeper and harder, and maybe the frequency will be even more. Okay, the frequency will be even more, or eventually the woman don't even express anymore, which means that no longer any relationship. The connection between the man and the woman eventually dies. This for men, this is important for us to remember. For future purpose, initially we really need to put in effort to invest. Okay, if we want the future to be better, invest now, build the foundation now. So eventually also good for us men. If we learn how to do it, we will be better at doing it. For the sake of the relationship and for the sake of the family. Okay, next.
Okay, thank you, sir. So next thing is that reassuring insight. So there are three realization points for men to understand. First is a man's love and support cannot instantly resolve a woman's issue. Yeah, which means even though you have the love and support that can provide to the woman, but still it won't just like a a switch, a tick, then the woman can just, or the issue goes off. So yeah. Second is it is not a man's fault if woman goes into her well. Yeah. So understand, men have the cave time. So as for women, same. We have our own well. Third, a man doesn't have to fix her as she's not heartbroken, but just need his love, patience, and understanding. Okay. Uh, can understand? So next thing is when a woman doesn't feel safe in her well. So this is the time where the tendency of the wave increases, and some women will pretend okay and suppresses the negative feelings, and at this time when she feel doesn't safe, she will avoid the intimacy or sex with her partner. And third, she will numb her feelings through addiction. Some is very dangerous, like it can be extreme, to drinking, overeating, overworking, over caretaking. Yeah. And last, for some of the couples, or whether married or not, they didn't fight at all or argue, but suddenly just the girl want to go with break up and divorce with the man. Okay. So one thing we must understand is that when negative feelings are suppressed, so for the positive feelings also the same will suppresses as well, and the love dies. So must understand negative feelings can also affects your positive feeling as well. And here we will see what is emotional house cleaning. So this is when a woman's wave crashes and needs the time for their emotional cleansing. So without this, the woman will slowly loses her ability to love and to grow in love. And but some cases women avoid this negative emotion and resist to the natural wave feelings, and they will experience this so-called premenstrual syndrome, PMS. So here we will see what is PMS. So PMS is actually symptoms, whether it's a physical or emotional. So for women, you can uh, see like if you have experienced this, or is tender breast, mood swing, fatigue, food craving, feel irritated, depression. So if go worse, you need to see doctor lor. So for here, um, it's very important to recognize is that the tendency for a woman to go into well doesn't necessarily affect her competence at work, but she will get influence on her communication with the person she loves and needs if she are having the downtime. So here is that work time women still can perform, but not all but mostly. Here is saying mostly general in general. So it only affects the way that she communicate with the people. And here, how a man can support a woman in the well. So here, first thing, the man should listen to his woman and don't make assumption. He respect her space. He shares those who are married and have children. He can share the workload, the parenting duties, and take parental leave. And last, he helps to do some of the housework. Yeah. So before I go on, sir, you got any add on or
Okay. No, no.
no?
Guys, anything you all want, or girls, anything you all comment? Otherwise, the next slide is where you combine chapter 6 and 7 already. Any question or any comment about this part about the woman in the wave? about the waves of a woman? Because otherwise, you have a problem when the two comes together, the cave and the wave. What happened? Now that's the next part. Okay, so right now let's talk about the wave only. Any question or comment on the wave?
Uh,
Okay, Simon said, like
I'm
for me, I asked my ex to come to my uni for a few days to reassure her. She said she don't want to. Then keep on having same issue. Then everything was falling apart when I was in my graduating year. When I graduated, she came and she said the groups of friends that I have worked with, that she saw the group of friends that I worked with, then she told me she finally understands. So it is not my fault, and I need to wait about more than 24 months for her to see and understand why she didn't just come previously, and maybe I don't need 24 months. Ah, okay, okay. I think one thing we have to understand basically is this for men and for women. We have to really understand, men, we have to really understand that our logic, man is logical, woman is emotional. Emotional have no logic. So we cannot apply logic all the time. We cannot say why the woman like this. One of the lessons I learned, and it's very difficult for me to learn, because it's in my nature to be logical. So, but it's with the same statement, if it is in my nature to be logical, it is in the nature of some women to be very emotional. And very often it's the opposite attract. Simply meaning the very logical will probably attract a very emotional. Because you for you who are very logical, right? You saw something special in being emotional, but you don't have it. So there may be there's an inclination to be attracted to something that you feel that you don't have, you lack, and the other person have. And that's why, wow, that's what I'm lacking. That's why I value the most. So that there is a tendency. Now, however, that same tendency to be attracted to the opposite is the one that eventually require us not to impose what is natural for us on the other person. That's why if we try to be logical and expect the other person to be logical, it doesn't work. And in this case, it is. That's why it waited 24 months. Okay? Because the other person is emotional, and it is. They are naturally emotional. So in some cases, in this case, Simon, in your case, in your explanation, what I would have suggested by understanding now the difference here between men about a woman having the wave. If you could not go at that moment in time, you should try to go at the next nearest possible time, even though it doesn't seem logical. If she doesn't want to come and it doesn't seem logical, because when the woman is emotionally down, they cannot act proactively. They cannot. And I begin to understand that. And this is where, in this case, if the partnership is strong enough, we don't put the logical expectation. We do what is necessary based on understanding. That's all. So like in your case, in your description here, it took 24 months, but 24 months already too long. So maybe in this case, in the future, if it is a case like this, we just have to recognize that, okay, there's a wave there, and the wave is not logical, right? And so now the next part actually will explain some of it. The next part will explain there will be some cases where what if the cave and the wave happen at the same time, right? Now, men, we cannot give what we do not have. Women, same thing. We cannot be what we are not. We have to remember that. So we must not judge ourselves and expect ourselves to give or to be what we are not. However, we must, based on understand, do what we can. That's a big difference. Okay, that's a big difference. So my advice in this case is simply this: as naturally men tend to be logical and expect the woman to be logical, wrong approach. We must say naturally man is logical, then we have to say naturally woman is illogical at that moment in time, or emotional. And generally emotional will be attached with illogical during the well. Okay, because the woman is asking for understanding, because emotion overwhelm the woman. Simon, I hope that helps to understand. Like in this case, you're looking back to evaluate so you can learn from your experience. Anyway, that's how I would advise based on learning from the past. Does that help, Simon? Okay, Li Ming, you got anything you want to comment? Okay. Any other comment? Otherwise, we will go to the part where the cave and the wave happening, especially if it happened at the same time. Okay. One thing, back to you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now I will talk about when the woman is in the well and the guy is in the cave. What if these two happen at the same time? So here, there's a example lah. For the guy, he used to watch TV as a time to in the cave lah for relaxing time. But for the woman, she started complaining the guy watched too much TV, and she started to treat the guy like a child. So both of the couple fight and have huge argument, and so that's where both are having downtime, are set towards each other. So in this case, what do you think, or for those who are in relationship, what will you do when you are sawing this scenario happening? For women and men, can anyone got any input or idea?
Not necessarily just watching TV. Yeah. Include a video game, computer game. It include sometimes some men have their they have this workshop and they will build things. Depends. Basically, it's the men's hobby, men's isolation time. Okay. I have seen cases where a man is caught into playing the game, and then the woman come and complain, such stupid game, why you want to waste your time on such stupid game? Okay, and the man was playing the video game, the computer game. Of course, TV have. There's another one case I still remember. The man was building model airplane and model ship. Okay, those kind of thing. Of course, men also have their own, like they will have their men's day, go and play certain game, a men's game. Okay, maybe like they will go and play cards or they go and drink. I don't know. So, men and women, please share your experiences where you have seen such things or where you yourself have experienced such things. Maybe I will start my sharing. For me, I've kena a lot from women, okay, who didn't understand my cave time and they complain about my cave time. And I can also tell you, because of my ignorance, I reacted. Okay, I responded with a very bad reaction. So of course, eventually argument. Yeah, he once said, when this happened, they become distant to each other. There might be more argument and maybe insecurities on the woman part when the man is not consoling and spend time with her during her downtime. Definitely. Actually, usually the woman complain because the woman is having a downtime and wishes the man to be around. But however, if the woman complain because of the man's cave time, right? What it usually, if the man don't understand, the man will react. So instead of giving the woman the time and the support, the man will react with anger and actually will shut off. They will switch off. They will block. It's like they will switch off, or they will distance themselves. They walk out of the house. They walk out or they switch off. Right? If it is outright retaliation, they ignore and continue to play. If they don't want the grumbling, they will switch off whatever they are doing generally, and then they will walk out. They go further away instead of go nearer. Any other experience? Any other comment or experiences from anybody else? What about?
Can I? Yeah.
Yes, Matthew, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I saw some of these this kind of examples happening inside my church as well. So there are my experience. What I can see, this one is there was a couple in my church where they are actually sharing their testimony on stage where they are actually some hardship before like what is happening over here. The man is literally in his cave, and the woman come and the woman was in her well, and then she wanted some attention. So I mean, by nature, she will come and just ask for the attention and then she will ask and then also by the nature she will also by wanting to ask for the attention, she will say to the man, why playing games, why are you playing games why are you wasting your time in doing whatever the hobbies the men are doing. And then I also heard before the man literally get reacted very angrily by literally smashing away the video games he's playing. I can so that is what I can see also from what Sir have shared, the explosion that was happening is between the both party as well.
Zhixian, you say I'm too young to experience, but no, I say you are not. Why I say that? Your parents. Sometimes children experience the fallout between father and mother, and I'm sure father and mother go through it. This cave wave thing, and I have seen that happening with my childhood. Of course, that time I'm totally ignorant. I didn't know about the wave cave. Now that I look back, I see it happening, and I experienced the fallout, and it's not good. It's not good for the children. I still remember I was very scared, very sad. it is unhealthy experience. But now that we know it, that's why knowing is good, helps us to process better. So Susan, you cannot say you have no experience. It's indirect experience. Come, anybody else got anything to share? Otherwise, I'll pass the time back to Wan Ting so that we can finish by tonight. Simon, I see a lot of well cave in my parents. But I will always think other families not the same, more loving, etc. Well, let me tell you, Simon, when I was young, same thing. I thought it only happens with my family. When I went through my own family, it happened the same thing. But when now that I'm older and I observe, actually it happened to many. In fact, there was very often when I remember when my family goes out with other family family who are friends, and I can see the Cold War happening during the outing. So eventually, I begin to realize no. In fact, it happens to most family, but the ones who are able and learn how to deal with it, their relationship improve. Those don't know how to deal with it, the relationship get worse. Eventually, you will notice. I mean, let's be honest, right? How many, really, how many you feel that our parents' marriage or our parents' love relationship really strong? I really don't think so. For Asian especially, not many. Not many strong love relationship I can see between parents. Not many. This is where knowledge and understanding helps. In other words, for you all, you can be the beginning of transformation so that your children will get to learn how to build better marriages by you applying this knowledge and understanding and then setting the example for them. Okay, and a lot of our habits we learn from our parents. My habit learned from my parents. Actually, for me, my life, there are two sources of what my life has become. One, my parents, because I see them do it. If I didn't learn anything otherwise, I will do what they do. But second is knowledge and understanding. When I learn something better, then I have a chance to do the something better, not to do what my parents did, but to do based on what I now know and understand, which is why this class is so important. Okay, hopefully we will remember and know how to apply it. Any other comment? Okay, I will pass the time back to Wan Ting.
Okay, thank you, sir. And here, from this situation, we must understand Martian and Venus's, both of them have their own logic. So for this case, men will think that like previous 2 weeks example, the man already spent very wonderful and sweet time with the woman. So after that, on the third week, the man want to pull off, and that means he wants some personal time and cave time. So for this moment, I think men should try to tell the woman, say that um now is the time for me to have my own relaxed time. So assure the woman for the secure part, and also for his love towards the woman lor. And for woman's side should try to also understand the man's um cave time, and from there you can do your own things without the man's besides you. So try to have your own have hobbies and also things to do without the man's interruption lor. Yeah. So for next, we will see how the past feelings comes up. Okay. So I think for woman will relate to when she's young and at her childhood time. She always see her dad, usually our dad also are busy, and as a worker there's actually too less time for us, like when we are as a daughter and the younger age. So we'll feel and see why our dad is always busy and no time for me and didn't play with me for most of the time lah. So here same thing. Well, when the men are treating the woman like he's always busy and didn't want to bother her, so the woman will stir up the past feelings. Like in this case, she will think back the time when she's small. Yeah. So for here, when we'll talk about when the feelings get hurt. Okay. So when a man didn't understand why his woman would be hurt and he told her shouldn't be hurt, the argument will arise. And this will even hurts the woman even more. Yeah. So the guy should just give his care and understanding towards the woman, and so the blame will slowly and will reduce or disappear. And for woman's side, she should understand that he's understanding and also why she's hurt. Yeah. So from there, the relationship can build up instead of um, keep tearing each other apart. Mm.
Okay,
So
I got a comment. Go back,
Mm.
go back. One more.
this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm.
It ties into the next one also lah, but I want to look at here. I think it's quite common when we are young, especially when you say looking at the father. Girls looking at the father, but of course boys also looking at the father for that matter. Very often we have been somehow made not directly, I don't think our parents wanted to make us feel guilty, but somehow indirectly we somehow indirectly have been made to feel guilty about disturbing about disturbing our parents, especially our father, when they are busy at work. Let's say we need something. We need some attention. We need some father time. And sometimes with mother also, for that matter, to be honest, especially now with working mother as well. We want some time with father or mother. And very often we are told that, hey, father, mother, busy. He's busy earning money so that he can put food on our table. Now we have this emotional need for connection. But then we are told that, no, we shouldn't disturb them. Now realize this. We have this need that need to be met, emotional connection need. And then we are told that, no, our parents are busy, don't disturb them. Yet the yearning is there for connection with them. So can you imagine if we overcome and we could not tahan anymore, and then we go and kacau, inverted commas, actually we need it, but we go and kacau. Now, we are made to feel guilty, when we require the understanding and the support and the connection time. Now, this is going to carry into our adulthood. This is what it means. That's why when the past feeling come up, this is what I mean by past feeling. Now, I won't be surprised when I say this. For many of you, you can agree with me. It's happening. Okay? Why? Because our Asian mentality oftentimes is we don't disturb people, our parents especially, when they are busy making money for us. In fact, later on, I'm sure Wan Ting will talk about it. Actually, money do not solve emotional problem for child and also for adult. In this case, this is same. This is what has happened. So we are somehow built to think that we are guilty to disturb, to distract people, our father, mother, in this case, carried to our husband, to distract them from work, from earning money. Now, we must not do that. Men, we also must not use money, earning money, working so hard to earn money as an excuse to provide the support. Okay, very, very important for us to begin to understand. Okay, Wan Ting, pass back to you.
Okay. So for here is the reason why men and women fight. So as John Gray says, men argue for the right to be free while women argue for the right to be upset. Men want space while women want understanding. So yeah, here as we can see the difference, men just want to argue for the right to be free, and then women just want the understanding from men. But when men want the space, it have the arguments, and yeah, that's why they fight. So here we will look on resolving conflicts through understanding. Yeah, again we see the key point is need to be heard and understanding towards the support that the man or the woman needs. This not only for women. I think sometimes men also need uh, the understanding from women. So both of them have the needs to be free, to be heard, to be seen, to be free. Yeah. Okay. So what a man can do when he can't listen. Uh, three steps are actually here for supporting the woman when he needs to pull away. So first, the man should accept the limitation that he have. Second, understand her pain. Third, avoid arguing and give reassurance. Yeah. So, what a man can say instead of arguing. Um, a man can say, like example, I understand you are upset, and right now I really need to watch TV and relax. When I feel better, we can continue to talk. I understand you feel hurt and I need some time to think about it. Let's take a time out. Yeah. To declare to or say to the woman that you need a pause, and then we'll be back and reassure the woman. So for a woman, some or most of them will not like this response, but women should learn to respect it and accept that the man needs the cave time. Okay, so for woman, what you can do instead of arguing. First, the woman don't demand the man for listening and give feedbacks. Second, the woman gets his support when he comes back, and this is when the time the men are capable to help the woman. Third, the woman can find other right timing to initiate the conversation when the man can listen, not just listen in ear, but listen in to his heart. And last, the woman can get support from her uh, friends. Yeah, some I don't think most of the women will find their parents, but some do talk to their parents on the problems they face. Yeah, so it's just the person, oh, find a person to talk lah. Don't keep inside. Okay, so for this, um, actually, there's a one point we must understand for women when a man feels is very pressure when he thinks that the woman make him the only source of love and support. So as previous chapter also mentioned, girls women should find a time for not just depending on the man, but you have your own circle of friends and your time lah, instead of spending all of your time with the man. Mm. Okay, so here we will see how money can create problems. So in this chapter, the author says that men tend to think money is the solution to all problem. Yeah. So for here it says money doesn't fulfill emotional needs. You can have many money in your hands, but the emotional side is not just based on how rich you are, and you can buy the things but you cannot buy the feelings, right? So for woman, and as a woman's financial needs are fulfilled, she becomes more aware of her emotional needs. Okay, so here there is auth- there's a saying says that when a wealthy woman's um in the relationship side, they need more permissions to be upset by permission by their husband, or yeah, by the partner, because men, especially the husband will not give the woman the right to be upset lor, because the guy think I already provide you so much source of needs, and you should be happy all the time, then why are you upset? So the rich man will tend to have this wrong perception and thinks that the woman is expected to be fulfilled all the time with positive feelings without negative feelings arise. So which is this expectation is actually not practical lor, and is also disrespectful for the woman. So yeah, this is for men to understand lor. You should understand this. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. I want to comment about previous. Okay. In fact, I remember reading Malcolm Gladwell book. There's a book by Malcolm Gladwell. He says about some of the things that are the false thinking lah. Some of the false thinking. Very common false thinking is we think that money. That means if you think about the world today, there's a general thinking that we want to make as much money as we can, and we think that as much money is good. The more, the better. Actually, Malcolm Gladwell have done a research in the book. He has said, in fact, the graph of money with happiness, money with happiness, is like a bell curve. It goes up at the beginning, but it reaches a peak where if you continue to have more money, the happiness drop. In fact, more money create more problem, and this is one of the example. This is one of the reason, or one of the explanation of why more doesn't help anymore. Because as the man spends more time to make more money, bear in mind, the man has less time to be emotionally supportive. The more the man spends, the more the man give time to make money, the more the man thinks that money solves the problem. I've already given the woman everything. And very often, men who make a lot of money will say that, I have given you everything, a diamond ring, a car, a house, whatever you want to buy, I give you to buy. Failing to understand that the men have not given the thing that is required for the emotional support, for the emotional connection that the woman wants, which money cannot buy. So the statement that the man makes, right, which often the rich man, successful rich man will tend to think, I've given you everything but emotional connection, which is why the more riches the man try to make, the less happy eventually the woman become. So please, this is very important lesson. In other words, that's a very important. Life is about balance. Too much is unhealthy. So there is a need for contentment. You must know when is enough so that you have enough time and energy for the other things that is needed. Like in this case, a relationship that is needed, which money cannot buy. That's why this one for men, we need to change this false thinking. Okay? Men, we cannot go and spend all our time making money. And that more money do not help the relationship. Okay? Okay, one thing, back to you.
Okay. So for next thing, come to the conclusion is that men should understand feelings are actually important to women, for mostly the women, but I think men also feel the same way. Feelings are also important because we just want someone to feel important too, and also to be feel important, right? So why is it important to connect with our true feelings? Because I think it's more honest lah. And second, you want to be genuinely happy, so it requires deep down into the well, and for the woman's side, to release, heal, and purify your emotions. Yeah, and so you can be happy again. So lastly, I want to talk is find the balance for feminine and masculine side for both. Yeah. Um, I think here there are many different words that describe what is feminine energy and masculine energy. So for both men and women, we should find the balance, because I'm sure everyone have these two. Just that for women's side, of course, we will tend to have more feminine energy than masculine for most lah. And then for guys, you have more masculine energy than feminine. But there are exceptional cases lah, where some having contra, which is higher lah. So
Okay. I like to change the title. I won't say find the balance. I don't agree with the title. Why I say that? Let me explain. First thing, we are all by nature who we are. Whether we are very high masculine energy, very high feminine energy for women, very high masculine energy, or sort of a bit of both. Right? For men, first thing we need to do, accept your nature. Recognize and accept. Because if you do not accept your nature, you will not be secure enough to be able to do well. Because you need to be secure so that you have the confidence. If you cannot, then you keep saying, why I cannot, because naturally you are not. That's why the one thing I begin to realize for me is this: I have very high masculine energy. But I do not use my masculine energy as an excuse not to try to apply feminine energy if required. But I will not accuse myself when I know I am weak in feminine energy. Does that make sense? Because it's not helpful to accuse yourself. Okay, the last thing I want is to continue to feel guilty and feel a failure, because it doesn't help me. That's why I need to be successful with what I am good at. I need to focus on my strength and be successful in my strength, and from there use my confidence to develop and grow my weakness. So I'm not saying you ignore your weakness, That's why I am saying you must accept who you are. Be thankful. Like for me, the first thing I have to learn, I must be thankful. I remember I shared with many of you before, when I discover of my personality type, and that my personality type show very, very extreme masculine energy, I wasn't happy, because it was creating a lot of problems and make me unhappy with myself. Now, the first thing I have to learn, my mentor taught me, is this: no, look at the positive thing within your personality type. So that's why the first thing, I must learn to accept and be thankful for who I am. But yet, at the same time, being able to accept and be thankful for who I am does not mean that I give an excuse not to try to learn my weakness. Does that make sense? But I will not accuse myself of my weakness. So don't accuse. So it's not about we are by nature where we are. Some of us by nature sort of to the right, very far right, masculine energy. Some of us to the far left, very strong feminine energy. Now, in general, I would presume that most women are towards the left, more on feminine energy than on masculine energy. For most men, you're more of a masculine energy than a feminine energy. Wherever the position is, accept and be thankful for that first. Then you know your weakness. Then you find the confidence, because you already accepted yourself and you are thankful for yourself. Then you have the confidence and the energy to work on the weakness, which is what I do now. But yet I do it, and I try not to be the first thing, the one thing I do, I know I cannot be perfect in the way I deal with everybody in YMAT or everybody in this class, and I cannot and I will not be apologetic about it. In other words, I will not say to you, I'm so sorry I am like this. No, I'm not sorry that I'm like this. Yes, I can be sorry that I am not able to say in a way that helped you the most. But I am not going to accuse myself. I will try harder next time. Does that make sense? And the one thing also that you all must begin to learn basically is this: don't accuse the other person. Don't expect the other person to be what they are not. That's also another failure. People Okay, sorry, I back. Yeah, I disappeared. Now, very important. Just as much as you accept yourself, accept your nature, you must also learn to accept the other person's nature. Don't expect the other person. One of the things I find a lot of pressure, but eventually I learn. Okay, let's say for me, I give you my personal experience. As a founder of YMAT, as a core trainer, and as well as the main teacher here, I definitely will fail with some of you. Fail why? Because some of my ways is not so suited to you. Now, last time I used to feel a lot of pressure. I cannot be who I'm not. So in other words, I can never be perfect for every single one of you, whatever I do. So in other words, my style, my nature will fit some of you very well, but will definitely not fit some of you at all. I'm not meant to be a perfect hero for everybody. So, which is true. This is why I want you to learn. So eventually, two things now. First thing, you learn to accept and be thankful for you. But whatever you are, whoever you are by nature, you have your strength and weakness. Accept and be thankful for it. And two, don't expect others. Don't let other people's expectation of you bother you too much too. You cannot. You also cannot. Eventually, you have to accept that some people won't like you. That's it. Some people will find your ways very, very crude or not suitable. Doesn't matter. Those who are not so mature will expect from you. Also will be there. Right now, to be honest with you, in my life, there are some expectations I already shut off. No point. Because cannot. Okay? Cannot. And I expect the person to grow up to the point where he had to learn to accept me for who I am. Right? Accepting, and you let it bother you, you will not find the confidence or the security to continue to minister to the person, to try to continue to do what you do, to try to make a difference. Right? Can make sense? Same thing here with men and women. And so how do we do that? Knowledge and understanding. And use that as a means to sort of put in the effort to cross over as much as